Welcome to my channel. I'm Rachel Maddow. Subscribe now and give this video a like. Russia is confronting a severe shortage of hard currency as a result of falling oil revenues and growing pressure on its export channels, creating deep strains on its economy. For decades, energy exports have been the backbone of the country's finances, but declining global prices and logistical challenges have dramatically reduced the inflow of foreign currency. Without these critical dollars and euros, Moscow is struggling to maintain even basic imports, from machinery to consumer goods. This situation has forced Russia to explore alternative trade mechanisms to keep its economy functional, reflecting the broader pressures caused by global economic conditions and its own declining revenue streams. Return to barter in international trade. In a striking move reminiscent of earlier economic crises, Russia has begun reintroducing barter systems for international trade. Instead of relying solely on cash transactions, the country is now swapping commodities such as wheat, flax, and other raw materials for goods including vehicles, construction materials, and home appliances. Several formal deals have already been reported, and the Russian Economy Ministry even published a detailed guide instructing companies on how to structure goods for goods agreements. These measures allow Russia to circumvent the difficulties of moving foreign currencies through conventional banking channels, which have become more complicated and risk-laden under international scrutiny. The oil revenue crisis. At the heart of this shift lies the sharp decline in oil revenues, which directly affects Russia's ability to secure the foreign currency necessary for imports. Key ports, including Primorsk and Ust-Luga, have seen a significant drop in crude shipments, with Primorsk's weekly deliveries falling from 9 to 10 tankers to just 3, and Ust-Luga seeing a similar decline. Global oil prices have also weakened, with Brent crude hovering around $63 per barrel and WTI around $58, partly due to speculation about a potential ceasefire in Ukraine. These factors combine to reduce Russia's net earnings per barrel, creating a pronounced gap in state revenues and making conventional trade increasingly difficult. Banking constraints and currency limitations. The challenges extend beyond energy revenue. Banks within and outside Russia are becoming increasingly reluctant to process transactions involving Russian entities. Many foreign partners are unwilling to accept rubles due to limited convertibility and the potential risks associated with sanctions or future financial scrutiny. Moving large sums internationally has become a high-risk undertaking, with banks cautious about compliance and the possibility of regulatory repercussions. These constraints amplify the appeal of barter, as trading goods directly allows Russia to maintain essential imports while bypassing the complications of global finance. Practical benefits of barter. Barter provides Russia with a practical workaround for its financial limitations. By exchanging commodities for critical goods, the country can continue essential economic activities without relying on scarce or tightly controlled foreign currencies. This approach also preserves long-term trade relationships that might otherwise falter under the pressures of conventional financial transactions. For trading partners, goods-for-goods deals reduce exposure to currency volatility and sanctions while providing a straightforward method to maintain commercial ties. While slower and less efficient than monetary trade, barter enables continued access to machinery, vehicles, and industrial supplies that are essential for the domestic economy. Economic implications of barter. Although barter helps Russia navigate short-term constraints, it is not a sustainable long-term solution. Trading goods instead of money raises costs, reduces efficiency, and can leave the country more vulnerable to exploitation by stronger trading partners. Pricing and valuation in barter arrangements are often less precise, and logistical complexities increase, requiring careful coordination and monitoring. These factors can slow down economic activity, create inefficiencies in supply chains, and limit the country's ability to respond quickly to changing market conditions. Nevertheless, under current circumstances, barter represents a necessary adaptation to a tightening economic environment. Impact on trade and imports. Russia's pivot toward barter has immediate effects on its trade and imports. By relying on commodity exchanges, the country can continue to secure essential items despite limited access to foreign currency. This strategy allows businesses to maintain operations, ensures the availability of consumer goods, and supports critical infrastructure projects. However, it also signals a retreat from conventional international financial systems, reflecting both the practical challenges of trade under current conditions and a broader isolation from global economic networks. The efficiency and reliability of these transactions remain uncertain, but they are a lifeline in an increasingly constrained environment. Broader economic context. The move toward barter highlights larger structural challenges within the Russian economy. Declining oil revenues, limited access to global banking systems, and geopolitical pressures combine to create a situation where conventional trade mechanisms are no longer sufficient. These pressures are reshaping economic priorities, forcing companies and government agencies to adopt unconventional methods to keep the economy moving. At the same time, they underscore the vulnerabilities inherent in over-reliance on energy exports and foreign currency flows, emphasizing the need for diversification and resilience in economic planning. Strategic significance of barter. From a strategic perspective, barter enables Russia to maintain critical supply chains while minimizing exposure to external pressures. By reducing dependence on financial transactions that could be blocked or delayed, the country preserves a degree of autonomy in trade. This approach also demonstrates a willingness to adapt and experiment under challenging circumstances, though it comes at the cost of reduced efficiency and potentially higher transaction risks. Over time, reliance on barter could reshape commercial relationships and trade patterns, creating new dependencies and challenges that must be managed carefully. Long-term outlook. Looking ahead, Russia's growing dependence on barter and other alternative trade mechanisms is likely to continue if oil revenues remain constrained and access to international banking remains restricted. While barter addresses immediate needs, it cannot fully replace the efficiencies and flexibility offered by conventional financial systems. The country may need to explore further economic adaptations, including increased domestic production, regional trade partnerships, and innovative financial instruments to navigate a complex and evolving global environment. These shifts will influence not only economic performance, but also Russia's broader position in international trade and diplomacy. Conclusion. In summary, Russia's reintroduction of barter trade reflects a pragmatic response to a tightening economic landscape shaped by falling oil revenues, limited banking access, and global pressures. While unconventional and less efficient than monetary trade, barter provides a necessary lifeline to maintain imports, preserve trade relationships, and sustain critical sectors of the economy. At the same time, this adaptation underscores the vulnerabilities and structural challenges within the Russian economic system, highlighting the need for long-term resilience and diversification. As the country navigates this new reality, barter represents both a temporary solution and a signal of broader economic shifts that will influence Russia's domestic and international strategies for years to come. Support for independent analysis. For those seeking a deeper understanding of global developments, exclusive tools and resources are now available to provide context and insight beyond conventional reporting. Access to uncensored analysis, detailed event timelines, and advanced analytical tools allows individuals to connect trends, interpret developments, and anticipate key geopolitical shifts. These resources empower readers to engage critically with the news cycle, uncover patterns, and better understand complex global dynamics. Supporting independent analysis ensures continued access to nuanced reporting and practical tools for interpreting world events in real time.